It cost me a decade to earn the truths I'm about to share. 10 years of paying the price of procrastination, the price of wasted potential, the price of building someone else's dream instead of my own. You get to learn it all in the next 60 minutes. But let's be clear, this isn't another motivational speech. This is the truth. We've all heard the phrase, "Life waits for nobody." We nod when we hear it. We see it on motivational posters. But we've heard it so often that it's lost its sting. It's become a cliché, a passive piece of wisdom. I need you to hear it again, not as a cliché, but as the most urgent and fundamental law of your existence. Think of it this way: your life is not a still pond. It is a vast, powerful, fast-flowing river. The current is relentless, and it never, ever stops. The philosopher Heraclitus said you can never step in the same river twice because the water you touched is already downstream. Your moments are exactly the same. The opportunity you had 5 minutes ago, it's gone. The day you wasted yesterday, it's gone. The person you were last year, they are gone. And yet, what do most of us do? We stand on the bank. We just watch. We watch the river of our own lives rush by. We see the opportunities, the chances, the risks, all floating past us like leaves on the current. We see other people in the water, moving, struggling, living. And we stand on the bank and we tell ourselves stories. We say, "I'll jump in tomorrow." We say, "I'm just waiting for the right moment." Or, "I'll start swimming when I'm more prepared." Or, "The water looks too cold today." So we stand there, paralyzed, and we give that paralysis a simple, common name. We call it laziness. We call it procrastination. We beat ourselves up for being unmotivated. But here is the truth, a truth that took me a decade of standing on that bank to understand. It is not laziness. It is fear. We aren't lazy. We are terrified. We stand on the bank because we are afraid of the water. We are afraid it's too cold and the shock will be too much. We are afraid of the current, afraid it will overpower us. We are afraid we don't really know how to swim and that we will look foolish as we struggle. We are afraid of what's under the surface. We are afraid to fail. So we choose the perceived safety of the bank, the comfort of the familiar, even though we know, deep down, we are being left behind. But let's go one level deeper. What is this fear really about? Here is the insight that will change how you see your own inaction. Procrastination is not laziness. It is the fear of responsibility. Think about it. As long as you stand on the bank, you are not responsible for what happens in the river. You can't fail if you never try. You can't drown if you never get wet. You can criticize the people who are swimming, but you are never accountable. The moment you dive in, the moment you truly commit to your dream, to your health, to your future, you become 100% responsible for the outcome. If you fail, it's on you. And terrifyingly, if you succeed, that is also on you. Success means you now have something to maintain, something to protect, something to grow. It means you are now fully accountable for your own life. That total, absolute accountability is the real thing we are hiding from. It feels safer to just watch. And here is the harshest part of this truth, the part that connects back to the river. The river does not care if you are afraid. The world does not care about your hesitation. It does not care about your fear of responsibility. While you are standing on the bank, analyzing your fear and weighing your options, someone else is jumping in. Someone else is already swimming. They are embracing the cold shock. They are fighting the current. They are gasping for air, making mistakes and learning as they go. They are not braver than you. They are not stronger than you. They are not necessarily smarter than you. They just understood that the pain of staying on the bank, the pain of watching life pass you by, is infinitely worse than the pain of getting in the water. They chose to move with the river, while you are choosing to be left behind by it. The world doesn't stop for your fear. It doesn't pause for your analysis. It moves. And every single morning you open your eyes, that river is still flowing. You are still on the bank. The only question is, what do you do about it? Now I'm going to share with you the single most terrifying and most liberating truth I have ever learned. It is the foundation for everything we are about to build. Here it is. No one cares. I know how that sounds. It sounds cold. It sounds cynical. It sounds nihilistic, and it goes against everything we were ever taught. From the day you were born, you were conditioned to believe that someone cares. Your parents cared, so you sought their approval. Your teachers cared, so you sought the good grade. Your boss cares, so you seek the promotion. We live our entire lives in a complex web of expectation, constantly performing, constantly looking over our shoulder, wondering, what will they think? We wait. We wait for someone to notice us. We wait for someone to give us permission. We wait for someone to discover our talent. We wait for someone to come and save us from our lives, from our bad habits, from our procrastination. We are all just waiting for someone to care. And here is the truth, the twist that will change everything for you. The fact that no one truly cares is the best news you will ever hear. Think about it. If no one is obsessively tracking your every move, it means no one is judging your failures as harshly as you are. That embarrassing mistake you made 3 years ago, no one remembers. They are all too busy worrying about their own lives, their own mistakes. You are not being watched. And if no one is coming to save you, it means you don't have to wait for permission to save yourself. You don't need a committee to approve your new life. You don't need a certificate to start your dream. You don't need anyone's validation to get up and move. The truth is, when you finally accept the harsh reality that no one cares, you are instantly freed from the crippling burden of expectation. You are free. You are free to try that thing you've always wanted to try, and to fail spectacularly, and to learn without worrying about the imaginary audience in your head. You are free to build your life based on your own values, not the values someone else pushed onto you. You are free to be the main character in your own story, because you finally realize you are also the writer, the director, and the only person who truly matters in the audience. Now I called this freedom terrifying for a reason. This freedom is not gentle. It is a harsh, cold, mountaintop freedom. Because with this freedom comes absolute, 100% non-negotiable responsibility. If you don't get up, no one will pull you up. If you don't build it, it won't get built. If you fail, it is on you. If you succeed, that is also on you. There is no one else to blame. There are no more excuses. It is just you and the river. This kind of freedom is scary. Most people will spend their entire lives running from it, trading their freedom for the comfortable, warm prison of other people's expectations. But this terrifying freedom, this is the only freedom that is real, and it is the only freedom that can set you on the path to building the life you were actually meant to live. The power to change does not belong to your boss, or your family, or your past. It belongs entirely to you. The question is, what will you do with it? So you accept that time is a river. You accept that no one is coming to save you. This leads us to the most critical choice you will ever make. A choice that confronts you every single morning you open your eyes. It is a cognitive climax, a life or death decision for your potential. And it is this: if you do not get up and build your dream life, someone else will hire you to build theirs. Let me say that again, because it is the most important cognitive dissonance of our time. If you do not actively build your vision, you will spend your life passively building someone else's. Now let's be very clear. This is not an attack on having a job. A job is not evil. A job provides stability. A job can teach you discipline. A job can pay the bills, and that is necessary. But a job is a transaction, and you must be ruthless in understanding what is being traded. You are not just trading your skill for money. You are trading your most valuable, non-refundable, finite asset, your time, for someone else's vision. Think about it. Picture your average day. You wake up, often tired. You rush, you commute. You give your sharpest, most creative, most energetic 8 to 10 hours to their company. You sit in their meetings, you solve their problems, you hit their deadlines, you pursue their goals. You are using your life's energy to build their asset, their dream. And then, what is left? You come home, you are tired, your brain is fried, your willpower is gone, and that book you wanted to write, that business you wanted to start, that skill you wanted to learn, that part of your dream, it gets the leftovers. It gets the scraps of your energy if it gets anything at all. Most of us are too exhausted to even give 1 hour to our own vision, after giving 8 to someone else's. And we do this for 40 years. We become world-class experts at building someone else's legacy, while our own slowly gathers dust in the attic of our minds. Here's the insight that connects this all. The greatest pain in life is not failure. We are all so afraid to fail, but the person who tries to build their dream and fails, they are still alive. They learned. They grew. No, the deepest, most agonizing pain is regret. It's the pain of looking back at age 70 or 80 and realizing you never even tried. The pain of knowing you had a fire inside you, a vision that was yours and you let it die, for the sake of comfort, for the sake of safety, because you were too tired. That is a pain too heavy for the soul to bear. This is why the morning is not just a time of day. It is your sacred window of opportunity. It is your stolen time. It is the 1 hour, or even 20 minutes, that you can steal back from the world before the world demands its payment. It is the time where you can pay yourself first. It is the time to lay one brick for your own house before you go and build someone else's all day. Every morning presents this choice. Will you be the architect of your destiny, or will you remain a worker in someone else's? The choice is yours, and you make it every single time your alarm goes off. Lesson 1: Life waits for nobody, but do not confuse urgency with hurry. So let's begin with the first foundational lesson, the one we've already touched on. Life waits for nobody. The great Stoic Emperor Marcus Aurelius wrote this in his private journal, a reminder to himself. Do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you. While you live, while it is in your power, be good. While it is in your power. Every morning you wake up, and that power is returned to you, the power to choose. But how do most of us use that power? Picture this, because this is a mirror. The alarm goes off. What is the very first thing we do? For so many of us, the first act of the day is a negotiation. We hit the snooze button. Just 5 more minutes, just 10. We make a small, seemingly harmless bargain with our future. We trade 10 minutes of blurry, low-quality rest for 10 minutes of our potential. Or we grab our phone. Before our feet even touch the floor, we are scrolling. We flood our minds with other people's opinions, other people's curated victories, other people's problems. We give the first moments of our clarity to distraction. That snooze button, that mindless scrolling, that is the modern-day symptom of standing on the riverbank. It is the small, daily betrayal of our own potential. It is a negotiation with time that you will always lose. And the sum of those 5 more minutes becomes wasted days, which become wasted months, which become a wasted life of standing on the bank. But there is an important truth we must clarify here. When you hear this, when you feel that spike of urgency, I do not want you to feel anxiety. Because many people hear life waits for nobody and they react with panic. And this is a crucial distinction. We must not confuse urgency with hurry. Hurry is an act of fear. Hurry is trying to build a house in one night. You'll cut corners. You'll ignore the foundation. You'll make panicked, sloppy mistakes. And the house you build will collapse. Hurry is chaos. Urgency is an act of focus. Urgency is realizing you only have a finite amount of daylight, so you must lay each brick perfectly. It is the focused, deliberate, present moment action. It is clarity. The sun does not rise in a hurry. It rises on time. A great oak tree does not grow in a hurry. It grows consistently. So when I tell you to rise with life, I am not telling you to run blindly into the chaos. I am asking you to walk with purpose. This video is about 10 years of lessons. That means wisdom requires depth and direction, not just speed. Do not be afraid if you are moving slowly. Be terrified if you are standing still. Embrace the urgency of the present moment, but let go of the anxiety of hurry. Be focused. Be consistent. That is how you truly rise with the river instead of being dragged by it. So let's make that our first commitment, not just to move, but to move with purpose. Comment this right now to seal it in your mind. I will not wait for life, I will rise with it. Lesson 2. The fortress must be protected from within. Now that we understand the urgency of time, we must confront the next lesson. It is one that many of us, especially the ambitious, choose to ignore until it is far too late. Take care of yourself first. I want to share a harsh truth with you, one that I learned from burning myself out to the point of collapse. If you were to break down tomorrow, if your health failed, if your mind buckled under the stress, your job, that company you give all your energy to, would post an ad to replace you within a week. Let that sink in. You are sacrificing your non-refundable health for a role that is entirely replaceable. We have been taught that this kind of sacrifice is noble. We call it hustle, grind, dedication. But sacrificing your well-being for a dream you are too sick to enjoy is not noble. It's a tragedy. We think self-care is selfish, but let me reframe that for you. It is selfish to neglect yourself. Why? Because when you inevitably break down, the people who truly depend on you, your family, your loved ones, your mission, are the ones who pay the price. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot build a legacy from a hospital bed. Taking care of yourself is not selfish. It is the single most responsible thing you can do for everyone and everything you care about. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught that we must guard our mind and our body like a fortress. If the fortress walls collapse, everything inside, your goals, your plans, your family, your dream, is vulnerable to attack. Every morning, your first duty is to be the sentinel of that fortress, to check the walls, to fuel the body, to calm the mind. And when we speak of protecting this fortress, we must be honest. For many of us, our own willpower is not enough. The fortress needs something more than just our own discipline. Stoicism teaches us self-reliance. It teaches us to focus on our own will. But to do that, many of us need to draw from a power outside of ourselves, a power of other reliance. We need faith. Maybe the first thing you do when you wake up isn't to write a to-do list, but to find stillness in prayer. Maybe the clarity you seek doesn't come from a journal, but from practicing gratitude to a higher power. This is not weakness. This is wisdom. It is the wisdom to know that taking care of yourself is not just about the physical body or the rational mind. It is about taking care of your spirit. Whether you call it God, the universe, or your higher self, connecting with it in the morning is how you replenish your spiritual energy. A person running on willpower alone can be strong, but a person who aligns their willpower with a deep and unshakable faith, that person is truly unbreakable. So take care of your body, take care of your mind, and take care of your spirit. That is the true meaning of self-care. Say this with me now and mean it. I will take care of myself first because my dream depends on it. Lesson 3. How to use regret as a lever, not an anchor. Of all the burdens we carry, the heaviest is not our work. It is not our obligations. It is our regret. Regret is the anchor that chains you to a past you cannot change. How many mornings do you wake up, and before your mind is even fully conscious, the ghosts of yesterday are already in the room with you? The job you didn't take, the words you said in anger, the relationship you ruined, the years you wasted. We say, don't regret, just learn. But it's useless advice unless you know how. Here's the truth. Regret is the act of driving your life forward while staring only in the rearview mirror. Think about that. You are sitting in the driver's seat. Your windshield shows you the present moment, the road ahead, the sunrise, the new day. But your eyes are glued to the tiny mirror, fixated on the road that is already gone, shrinking in the distance. What happens when you drive like this? You are guaranteed to crash. You will miss the turn in front of you. You will fail to see the opportunity on your left. You will slam into the obstacle that you should have seen coming. Living in regret is driving blind. It doesn't just keep you in the past, it destroys your present and steals your future. So why do we do it? If we know we can't change the past, why do we remain so hopelessly stuck, staring in that mirror? It's because most of us have not learned the most practical, powerful, and life-changing part of the Stoic philosophy we've been referencing. It's a concept called the Dichotomy of Control, and it is the key to breaking this chain. It's simple. The Stoics taught that in life there are only two types of events. That's it. Type 1, the things you control. Type 2, the things you do not control. What's in type 1? Your thoughts right now, your actions right now, your reactions, the choices you make this very second, your will. What's in type 2? Everything else. The weather, the economy, what other people think, what other people do, the future, and the past. Now here is the secret. Regret is the act of using your type 1 energy to try and change a type 2 event. It is a battle you are guaranteed to lose every single time. You are spending your precious, finite willpower, your type 1 resource, trying to fix something that is, by its very nature, unfixable. You cannot go back. You cannot unsay the words. You cannot reclaim the wasted time. It is a type 2 event. It is gone. So, what is the solution? It is acceptance. But this is not a weak, passive acceptance. This is not liking what happened. This is not being okay with the pain. It is a ruthless, logical acceptance. It is acknowledging that the past is now outside of your control. You must accept your past with the same certainty that you accept gravity. You don't wake up every morning and get angry at gravity for existing. You don't waste your energy trying to float. You accept it. And then you use it. You use it as leverage to stand, to walk, to build. Your past is the same. Stop fighting it. Accept that it happened. And then use it as leverage. The power of the morning, the power of right now, is that it allows you to pull your eyes away from the rearview mirror. It is your daily chance to focus 100% of your energy only on type 1. What will I do today? How will I act today? Who will I be today? That is how you learn. That is how you move forward. Write this down. Put it where you can see it. I am not my past. I learn, I grow, I move forward. Lesson 4. The antidote to the crisis of meaning. We now arrive at the lesson that is the absolute center of this entire philosophy. It is the consequence of the first 3. Because time is running out, because no one is coming to save you, and because you have accepted your past, you are now standing in the present moment with full responsibility, and you are faced with the choice that defines your entire life. Build your dream or build someone else's. This is the core. When you first hear this, you might think it's just about money or career. It is not. This goes much, much deeper. This is about the quiet, agonizing feeling that so many of us live with every single day. That feeling of being stuck. Do you know it? It's the feeling of being busy but not productive, of being paid but not fulfilled. You are doing something all day, but at the end of the day, it feels like nothing. We are not stuck in a job. We are stuck in a crisis of meaning. The great psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor, Viktor Frankl, discovered a profound human truth in the darkest places imaginable. He developed a philosophy called logotherapy, which is built on one core idea. The primary, most powerful drive in a human being is not the pursuit of pleasure or money or power. It is the will to meaning. We are creatures who need purpose. We will starve without it. We will shrivel up. We will look for anything to numb that emptiness, distraction, consumption, anger. Now, think about your work. When you go to your job, you are, by definition, executing someone else's vision. You are a tool, a valuable one, being used to fulfill their will to meaning. And if you are lucky, their meaning aligns with yours. But for most of us, it doesn't. We are just trading our finite time for money. And this trade over years creates that void, that spiritual emptiness. We are functioning, but we are not living. This is why your morning is sacred. This is why that 20 minutes of stolen time we talked about is not a luxury. It is not a hobby. It is not a side hustle. It is the antidote. That 20 minutes you spend before you give your day to someone else. That time you spend writing your book, planning your business, learning that skill. That is the act of injecting meaning into your own life. It is a declaration. It is a rebellion against meaninglessness. When you lay one single brick for your own dream, you are telling the universe, and more importantly, you are telling yourself, my life has a purpose that I define. My life has a meaning that I am building. That single act, done consistently, is the only medicine for that feeling of being stuck. It is the only cure for the crisis of meaning. This is why it is more important than 30 more minutes of sleep. This is why it is more important than scrolling through the news. This is the path to feeling alive. So this is the choice. Continue to live your days executing someone else's meaning and feel that growing emptiness. Or wake up and be the architect of your own. Commit to this. This is the most important promise you will make. I choose to build my dream, one morning at a time. Lesson 5. The trap of premature recognition. Once you have your mission, once you are building your dream, your first instinct will be to talk about it. We live in a culture of building in public. We are desperate to announce our plans, to post about our new project, to share our goals with the world. And this leads us to Lesson 5, a principle that feels counterintuitive in our loud world. Work in silence. Celebrate in private. Now, the surface-level reason for this is obvious, and it's one you've likely heard. You must protect your dream like a fragile seed. Think of it this way. When you have a new idea, a new goal, it is vulnerable. If you plant a seed, you don't dig it up every single day to show your neighbors, asking them, "Do you think it will grow? Do you think it looks good?" No, you plant it, you water it, you protect it in the dark, and you let it grow roots. When you announce your plans too early, you expose that fragile seed to the storms of other people's opinions. You invite in their doubt. You invite in their envy. You invite in their fears. And they will speak their fears into you. Are you sure that's a good idea? That sounds risky. What if you fail? And their words can become the poison that kills your seed before it ever had a chance to break the soil. That is the obvious reason to work in silence. But today, I need to share the second reason, the one that is far more dangerous, because this trap doesn't come from the outside. It comes from within. It is the psychological trap of announcing your plans. Here is what happens, and this is a scientific reality. When you announce your big plan, you tell your friends, "I am going to write a book," or you post, "I am starting my new business." What do you get? You get praise, you get encouragement. Your friends say, "Wow, that's amazing, you're so brave." You get likes and comments and validation. And in that moment, your brain gets a powerful hit of dopamine. Dopamine is the reward chemical. It feels good. It feels like a victory. But here is the fatal flaw. Here is the trap. Your brain cannot tell the difference between the dopamine you get from praise and the dopamine you get from actual completion. Let me repeat that. Your brain is tricked. You feel as if you have already succeeded. You get the reward for just saying you would do the thing. Psychologists call this social reality. In your mind, the goal feels closer or even finished just by having it validated by others. And what is the tragic, ironic result? Your actual motivation to do the hard, lonely, unglamorous work plummets. Why would you do the difficult work when you've already received the reward? You have become falsely full. You've eaten the dessert of social validation before you've even had the meal of actual work. And now you are no longer hungry. This is why working in silence is not just social advice. It is a mandatory psychological strategy for success. Stop telling people what you are about to do. Let your brain get hungry. Let it starve for that dopamine hit. And then teach it that the only way it will get that reward is by actually doing the work, by finishing the chapter, by launching the product, by completing the task. Guard your plans, protect your energy. Let your success make the noise for you. Affirm this with me. I will protect my dreams in silence and let my results make the noise. Lesson 6. Your noise filter is broken. As you begin to build your dream, as you start to move in silence, something else will happen. The world will notice, and the world is loud. Picture this: you have your idea. You've been working on it quietly. You finally feel brave enough to share it with one person. A friend, a family member, a coworker. And in one 30-second conversation, they poke holes in it. They say, "That'll never work. Isn't that really risky? My cousin's friend tried that and failed." And just like that, the fire you've been protecting feels a little smaller. The noise of the world has gotten inside. This brings us to lesson 6. Your mind is a fortress, and you must become the gatekeeper. You must listen only to the right voices. We live in a storm of opinions. Everyone has advice for you. How to live, what to do, where to go, what is and isn't possible. And we are taught to listen, to be polite. But this politeness is killing your dream. You must adopt a new, harsh, and necessary filter. And it is this: if the person giving you advice is not living a life you want to live, why would you let their voice in? Pause. Think about that. Would you take financial advice from someone drowning in debt? Would you take health advice from someone who doesn't respect their own body? Would you take relationship advice from someone in a toxic, broken partnership? Of course not. Then why? Why do we take our biggest, most important life advice about our dreams, from people who are stuck, unhappy, or who gave up on their own dreams years ago? Here's a simple rule. Never take construction advice from someone who has never built anything. They cannot see your blueprint. They can only see the risk of the first brick. They see the cost of the materials, not the vision of the cathedral. They are not bad people. They are just speaking from their level of experience, and it is not the level you are building on. Now I must warn you. The most dangerous noise, the loudest criticism, will often not come from your enemies. It will come from the people who love you the most. Your family, your partner, your closest friends. When you tell them your big, ambitious plan, they get scared. But they aren't scared for you. They are scared for themselves. Your action reminds them of their inaction. Your courage highlights their fear. Or, in the best case, they are genuinely scared for you. They love you, and they don't want to see you fail. So they project their fears, their limitations, their definition of safety onto you. This is the hardest part of the journey. You must learn to love them, to respect them, and to build a filter strong enough to keep their fears out of your fortress. This is why the morning is your sanctuary. It is the one time of day when the noise of the world is turned off. It is the one time of day you are not a spouse, a parent, an employee. You are just you. The morning is the time to listen to the only voice that truly matters, your own. You must hear that voice. that intuition, that quiet signal, before the noise of the world's doubts can drown it out. Your first act of the day must be to listen to yourself. Say this with me: I will only listen to the voices that lead me to the life I want. Lesson 7. Motivation is a lie. Discipline is the truth. We have come to the final and most practical lesson. We have all the tools. We have the urgency of time. We have the freedom of no one cares. We have the mission of building our dream. We have the strategy of silence and the filter for the noise. But none of it matters without this. Lesson 7. Life rewards consistency, not excuses. Pause. We live in a world that is obsessed with motivation. We search for it. We watch videos, we listen to speeches. We wait for that magical, electrifying feeling to strike us, believing that then we will finally be ready to act. So, let me tell you the truth about this video you are watching right now. This video cannot save you. This voice, these words, this feeling you have, it's just fuel. It is a form of mental doping. It will wear off. And when it does, in the cold, quiet light of tomorrow morning, you will be left alone with your old habits. Why? Because we have been taught to worship a false god. We have been taught to worship motivation. Here is the truth. Motivation is just an emotion. It is a feeling, just like happiness or sadness or anger or boredom. It comes and it goes. It is a wave. It is unpredictable. It is unreliable. And you cannot build a life. You cannot build a dream. You cannot build a fortress on the shifting sands of an emotion. You must build it on rock. And that rock is discipline. Motivation is what you feel. Discipline is what you do. Motivation is passive. It happens to you. Discipline is active. It is a choice you make. Motivation is the amateur. The amateur waits until they feel like it. They wait for inspiration to strike. They wait for the perfect mood, the perfect day. And so they wait forever. Discipline is the professional. The professional shows up. The professional does the work whether they feel like it or not. The writer writes even when they are uninspired. The athlete trains even when they are sore. The builder lays the brick even when it is raining. The professional shows up not because they are in the mood, but because they made a commitment. Their identity is tied to the action, not the feeling. The Stoics lived by discipline, not motivation. So how do you build it? You are not born with it. You build it in the morning. The morning is your gym for the muscle of discipline. It is your training ground. You build it by starting so small that it is impossible to say no. Not, I will wake up and build my entire empire tomorrow. No, I will wake up and do 10 push-ups. I will wake up and read 1 page of a book. I meditate for 1 minute. The size of the task does not matter. What matters is the consistency. What matters is that you make a promise to yourself, and then you keep it. Because here is the secret. Every time you hit that snooze button, you are breaking a promise to yourself. You are teaching your brain that your words don't matter. But every time you do the small thing you said you would do, you are keeping a promise. You are forging a new identity. You are depositing one coin in the bank of self-trust. Discipline is not about punishment. It is the highest form of self-respect. It is the act of showing up for the person you know you can become. So stop waiting for the feeling. Stop waiting for motivation. Choose discipline instead. Make the choice, consistency or excuses. Seal this in. This is the final and most important one. Comment it and mean it. I choose consistency over excuses. Every morning I move forward. We have walked a long road together in this last hour. We have faced the harsh truths, and in them we have found our power. This was not just a collection of ideas. This was a roadmap that cost me 10 years to draw, a roadmap that is now yours. Let's trace it one last time, so it is burned into your mind. First, we learned that time is a river that does not wait. We must move with urgency, but not with hurry. We must act with purpose, not panic. Second, we learned that the fortress of our mind and body must be protected. That self-care is not selfish, but a profound responsibility. And that for many of us, this fortress is built not just with willpower, but with faith. Third, we learned the key to letting go of the past. We learned the dichotomy of control. We must stop using our present energy to fight a battle with a past we cannot change. We accept what is outside our control so we can master what is within it. Fourth, we found the antidote to the crisis of meaning. We learned that we must be the architects of our own lives. That building our dream, even for 20 minutes a day, is not about getting rich. It is about injecting meaning into our existence. Fifth, we learned the psychological trap of validation. We will work in silence, not just to protect our ideas from the world, but to protect our motivation from the false, full feeling of premature praise. Sixth, we learned that our noise filter is broken. We must become ruthless gatekeepers and listen only to the voices that are building the life we want, while learning to hear our own voice in the quiet of the morning. And finally, we learn the most practical truth. Motivation is a lie. It is a fleeting emotion. Discipline is the truth. Discipline is the system, the rock, the promise we keep to ourselves that builds an unbreakable identity. These 7 truths, they are not theory. They are not just words in a video. They are a choice. They are a choice that you are presented with at 6 a.m. when the world is dark and your bed is warm and your mind is whispering excuses. Will you choose the snooze button, or will you choose your dream? Will you choose distraction, or will you choose discipline? Will you choose to remain a worker for someone else's vision, or will you choose to be the architect of your own? The path is now clear. The tools are in your hands. The roadmap is now in your hands. My part is done. I cannot walk this path for you. I cannot do the push-ups. I cannot write the page. I cannot protect your fortress. I can only show you the door. You are the one who has to walk through it. And you will be tested. Tomorrow morning, the sun will rise. Your alarm will ring in the darkness, and the battle will begin. Your old self will be there, waiting for you. Procrastination will whisper in your ear, "Just 5 more minutes. It's too hard. It doesn't matter." Fear will sit on your chest. "What if you fail? What if you look stupid?" Your phone will call to you from the nightstand, promising the easy, warm comfort of distraction. And in that moment, you will have a choice. The same choice you had today. The same choice you will have every day for the rest of your life. You can choose to hit snooze, and in doing so, choose to repeat yesterday. Lord! You can choose to put your feet on the floor, and in doing so, choose to build. Make the final commitment. Make it not to me, but to yourself, to the person you know you are capable of becoming. Write this in the comments below to make it a public declaration. Speak it out loud to make it a command, and live it every single day to make it your truth. I rise stronger every morning. I will not waste the time life has given me. The river is moving. Life waits for nobody. Rise with it.